explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely.
At the fiery first press conference for his next bout, boxing legend Manny Pacquiao sent shockwaves through the room with a chilling declaration aimed squarely at his opponent, Mario Barrios. The 8-division world champion, known for his explosive speed and unshakable humility, shed his usual calm demeanor and stepped into the spotlight with a fierce warning. As cameras flashed and tension mounted, Pacquiao made it clear that this fight isn't just business, it's personal. The tone is set, and if Barrios thought he was facing a faded icon, Pacquiao's intensity just proved otherwise.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good.
All right, so
Good.
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back to us, and for a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champion.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. It's like a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
It would shock the world, but he wins at his age, yeah, but it's not, listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's not. He's always active. Players always stay active. He's always doing something, mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio. So, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win.
Diaz beat. Different Diaz. I like Diaz.
Manny Pacquiao's return to the boxing ring after a 4-year hiatus has generated significant buzz, especially following his intense press conference where he issued a stern warning to WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. The 46-year-old boxing legend, known for his speed and power, is set to challenge the 29-year-old Barrios on July 19, 2025, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
It's a very contentious subject, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually, Pacquiao is a step up. And people are still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots. But he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao has resumed training under the guidance of his longtime coach, Freddie Roach. Despite concerns about his age and time away from professional boxing, Pacquiao has shown glimpses of his former self in training sessions. However, some fans and experts remain skeptical about his ability to compete at the highest level after a lengthy hiatus. Recent footage from Los Angeles captures Pacquiao speaking with the calm resolve of someone ready to face any challenge. He discussed the burden of being a role model and the importance of learning from past defeats. His tone was serious but positive, and physically he appeared alert and ready. The training sessions show him hitting pads with speed, moving fluidly, and preparing for his showdown with Barrios with all the intensity of a younger fighter hungry for redemption. However, the decision to sanction the fight has not been without controversy. Critics argue that Pacquiao's age and recent inactivity should have precluded him from a title shot. The WBC's ranking of Pacquiao at number 5 in the welterweight division has also raised eyebrows, with some questioning the legitimacy of the ranking and the potential risks involved in the matchup.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a short return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's, that guy's my hero, you know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that, you know, stuff, but he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is, you know, but, you know, obviously if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say no.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't mince words when sharing his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's unexpected comeback bout against Mario Barrios. Speaking bluntly, Hackett noted that had this fight taken place years ago, Pacquiao would have made quick work of Barrios. However, times have changed. According to Hackett, the current version of Pacquiao is a far cry from the explosive, dynamic fighter who once dominated the sport. Now at 45, the Filipino icon can't be expected to showcase the same speed, stamina, or ruthless edge that made him a legend. Hackett described the fight as more of a money grab than a genuine contest between elite athletes in their prime. In his view, it's a spectacle, not a clash of equals.
But Pacquiao not Pacquiao. It's tough to go against him in this situation because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might try to beat Pacquiao. I mean, not knock him out, but you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, it's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans are going to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a die-hard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boobs, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but he want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money and you want to do great things.
Former champion Tim Bradley echoed similar concerns, suggesting that the fight is more about financial motives than boxing glory. According to Bradley, anytime a fighter comes out of retirement, it signals a need for a payday. In his view, the WBC title may be on the line, but the real motivation is the purse. Barrios, a younger and active contender, is being positioned as the fresh face to test Pacquiao's limits. Bradley went as far as to say that Barrios has the youth, momentum, and skill to possibly finish Pacquiao, raising questions about whether the legend should be in the ring at all.
Getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
On the other hand, Oscar de la Hoya has voiced his support for Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring, expressing confidence in the legendary fighter despite his age. While acknowledging that Pacquiao is now in his mid-40s, de la Hoya believes the Filipino icon still has the heart, determination, and skill to stand toe-to-toe with younger opponents like Mario Barrios. He commends Pacquiao's storied career and insists that a fighter with such vast experience should never be underestimated. For De La Hoya, the focus isn't on age, it's on what Pacquiao still has left to offer.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend, you know.
Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it.
Despite the skepticism, Mario Barrios remains calm and confident. Speaking ahead of the fight, Barrios made it clear he respects Pacquiao but isn't intimidated. He plans to stick to his game plan and use his youth and reach advantage to keep the pressure on. Barrios isn't approaching this as just a payday, he sees it as the biggest opportunity of his career and a chance to add Pacquiao's name to his resume.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just shows you that, he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Boxing analyst Teddy Atlas has expressed skepticism regarding Mario Barrios' perceived size advantage in his bout against Manny Pacquiao. While Barrios stands taller and boasts a longer reach, Atlas questions the authenticity of this edge, noting that Barrios transitioned to the welterweight division after previously competing at lower weight classes. Barrios himself acknowledged that making the 140 pounds limit had become increasingly challenging, prompting his move to welterweight. Despite his physical attributes, Atlas suggests that Barrios' size may not translate into a significant advantage in the ring. This perspective implies that the matchup could be more evenly balanced than some anticipate, potentially offering a more competitive contest between the seasoned Pacquiao and the younger Barrios. The announcement of Pacquiao's return sent shock waves through the boxing world. Many fans are still processing the news, as Pacquiao retired in 2021 and has remained inactive since.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big, natural welterweight. And of course we understand Pacquiao has moved up, my God. I don't even know when he first turned pro, you would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean he was
108 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. Look what he did to this horse. But look, I love Pacquiao. One of my favorite people. One of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit than when Pacquiao fought him. Maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao and Ugas.
Mauricio Suleiman, president of the WBC, confirmed that all permissions were secured to allow Pacquiao to compete for the welterweight belt. Speculation is swirling that the Barrios fight is just a stepping stone for Manny Pacquiao. Many rumors suggest that if Pacquiao manages to beat Barrios, it could pave the way for a massive showdown against Gervonta Tank Davis. Fans and analysts alike are questioning whether Barrios was selected because he's a more manageable opponent, giving Pacquiao the chance to build momentum and generate excitement for what could be his last blockbuster fight. The idea is that this bout might not be the ultimate challenge but rather a strategic move to set the stage for a high-profile, career-defining clash with Davis.
The WBC president Mauricio Suleiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I asked myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, who's the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.
If Pacquiao does beat Barrios, a showdown with Gervonta Davis could become one of the most anticipated fights in recent history. 2 explosive southpaws, both carrying massive fan bases, facing off would generate global attention. Pacquiao's return to the ring carries a powerful sense of nostalgia. He's going after the same WBC title that kick-started his rise to global fame years ago. Back then, he won his first world championship at flyweight. Now, he's looking to finish his career as the WBC welterweight champion. It's a full-circle moment that goes beyond just chasing another belt. For Pacquiao, this fight feels personal. It's not just about legacy, it's about reconnecting with where it all began. The motivation behind this comeback seems rooted as much in emotion and reflection as it is in competition.
Dr. News told Onto Your Gloves, boxing fans, the rumors are true. Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring. At 46 years old, the Filipino legend is taking on WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this July. But here's the kicker. Pacquiao's first world title was as a flyweight, and now he wants to retire as the WBC welterweight champ. Talk about a career comeback, but can the Pac-Man turn back time? He hasn't been in top form lately, while Barrios is coming off a tough draw. Will Pacquiao's experience triumph over youth, or is this one fight too far? Either way, July is shaping up to be an explosive month for boxing. Pacquiao's rolling the dice one last time. Will he make history as the oldest welterweight champ ever? Get ready for a showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat.
Manny Pacquiao's comeback has reignited excitement and debate within the boxing community. At 46, Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring after a 4-year hiatus, aiming to reclaim the title that once launched his legendary career. This matchup not only pits Pacquiao's experience against Barrios' youth but also raises questions about legacy, motivation, and the ever-evolving dynamics of the sport.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July. in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. And Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. You know, Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against the kickboxer Rukia Anpo first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. You know, I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. You know, if there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. You know, Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
Do you believe Pacquiao's confidence will translate into victory, or is Barrios poised to defend his title successfully? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.
A lot of people are asking what's going on. Are the rumors true? Is it possibly Spence? Is it Pacquiao? You know, who is Mario Barrios sharing the ring with next?
You know what? He's put himself in a great position through hard work. You know, he's a tremendous story when he turned pro and what he's been able to accomplish being a two-time world champion. And I always told everybody, you know, he fights all comers. You know, when we fought Gervonta Davis, all my hats off to Gervonta Davis. You know, but it was very difficult for us to make the weight. We were going to move up in weight. They presented us, you know, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, you know, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division, and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Petirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's, you know, Pacquiao, Spence, if that's a unification with Boots Ennis.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated.